All right, hey everybody, it's T-Man and I'm back, and we're going to be reviewing client Michelle, Jason Blaha's client Michelle, the lifting gym slave. Yes, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't really call her a lifting slave. She's not an ego lifter. I mean, maybe on the deadlift or something. I don't know, something weird there, but I would say gym slave. Okay, she's definitely a gym slave. So, because she's adapted to all these exercises and she never changes them. They're always the same. But let's review this video together. Team Blaha Client Michelle, part 86. And as you know, she's a former boxer, a model, bikini competition, whatever, power lifter, and all a bunch of these things. Okay, whatever. Let's review this.
Hey everybody, once again it is time for my client Michelle's vlog, and we are pretty much continuing.
Off the bat, so this is part 86. Off the bat, she's doing the exact same lift, one rep. One rep.
With what we've been doing, we are changing up every 3 weeks. We are changing her exercises a little bit. So her.
Hold on. Blaha says he's changing up her exercises every 3 weeks. He is? She seems to be doing the exact same exercise as far as I could see. I haven't seen anything change in here. Man, I never even see her do cables. She never does any cable work.
Supplemental lifts change a little bit, but our main lifts pretty much stay the same. What are our main lifts? Bench press, pull-ups, squats, deadlifts. A lot more emphasis on squats, though. On deadlifts, we really only pull one.
I'm not saying everybody should do cable. Here's the thing: what I notice people in the gym, you notice this. When it comes to biceps, they're gonna do like dumbbells and barbell, whatever. They're all circulating all over the place. But when it comes to triceps, everybody's always going to the cable machine, doing their triceps on the cable machine. So yeah, I don't know, maybe it's a lazy thing, or they just think that's the easiest to go there and do the cable. They won't do their arms on the cable machine, but they'll do their triceps there. See what I mean? I think you should focus on one thing at a time. If you're going to do free weights, do free weights, and then the following week switch over and do a bunch of cable work if that's what you want. But I wouldn't do that. I would wait until I get adapted to whatever I'm doing with the free weight. And then I would switch over, maybe the third, the fourth week, switch over to the cables and start doing cables for a while until I run out of adaptations there, and then switch back to free weight.
Single every week, and that's okay. So what we're doing for her training, because she still has worlds and or nationals coming.
Again, exact same exercises, exact same lifts, exact same sets and repetitions. She's doing the exact same stuff. She's adapted.
Coming up this year, way later in the year, we are continuing to do singles with training maxes that are below her maxes. Everything else is hypertrophy. Everything else is 10 plus reps. Everything other than our pause squats for reps are done as supersets. So after we do that single on that, we go to 10 rep sets of bench, followed by 10 rep sets of.
I hear him talking a lot, but I don't see her doing 10 sets, this set and that set, Blaha. What are you talking about? Are you watching the same video, Blaha? You're making this stuff up.
Overhand grip pull-ups. Again, those are.
I think the perfect nail.
1 rep in reserve. Some of her stuff is right at failure. Then our next superset.
1 rep in reserve is not going to get you an adaptation. Maybe in a forced production. But it isn't going to be a muscular adaptation or a change in an adaptation and change in her body. Here's the thing. A change in structure in your body is an adaptation process. So you need to do very specific things to get that body to conform a certain way. And then there's also conforming an adaptation and getting more muscle growth through adaptations. But you're adapted to all these exercises. Like I said, man, poor coach, poor training, poor development. So what do you expect? The poor woman, 0 adaptations. She's adapted. There's nothing going on here. Nothing.
We do incline benching. When now we're supersetting it with.
She's a factory worker lifting boxes in a factory, going nowhere fast. She's adapted to lifting the boxes now in the factory. She's gotten good at lifting these boxes, and there's no more adaptations. 0. There's no adaptations in development, in physical, in muscular, even her forced production. There's nothing going on here. There's nothing.
Strict barbell rows. I know previously she's done a lot of Pendlay rows. We've used a lot of, a little bit of hip drive on those now. I've told her, look, since we're going to be doing bikini stuff, let's get everything strict. We want everything more and more controlled. So I am having her focus on more control, less cheating exercises. And a lot of that we have to keep up with is obviously because she's getting leaner still. The scale's been going down. She is getting leaner. We have to be aware of injuries and stuff. We have to be aware of overuse. And in this case, I really want the only thing super heavy to be our training maxes every week. Everything else.
What he wants her to do is super heavy. I think personally, like I said, you should focus on one thing at a time. Figure out what you want, get an adaptation out of it. When it ends, move on to something else, get an adaptation there, and then move on to something else for development.
So I'm like, look, I want you to be, using the...
But again, she's all over the place. She goes from here to there, there to here. She's adapted.
lightest weight that you can, which means the full ranges of motion, strict control, controlling everything.
Is meaningless. Is meaningless if there's zero adaptations.
Not that light weight is good, but that we don't need to use more weight than is required to get the muscles to go to failure or to extreme fatigue. So rather than...
And why do you need to get them to go to extreme failure, extreme fatigue? Why do you need to do that? Why, Blaha, why?
Cheating on a barbell row, let's just go strict and controlled, even if you take 50 pounds off. Right? So all these exercises now, we're seeing it get a lot stricter because we are...
All these exercises, she's adapted to them. The human body has adapted. There's zero adaptations.
Chasing true hypertrophy. We don't care about any sort of power development. We don't care about anything involving...
What do you consider hypertrophy? Getting better at lifting? Moving up in the lifts like a force production? Or hypertrophy muscle? Muscle hypertrophy is getting bigger. Sorry, I got a cough this week.
High rates of force production. We can save that for meet preps. Right now, I want her to build as much muscle mass as possible.
He wants her to kill as much muscle as possible? What? As much muscle? What the fuck?
Much muscle stimulus as possible, and I need her to be able to recover from it. And I want to be clear.
As much muscle stimulus, want her to recover from it? Muscle stimulus, what? You recover from what? The breakdown of the proteins now? Yeah, you know how you recover of them? When protein synthesis exceeds that breakdown, that's how you recover.
Here, her training volumes are higher than my average client. So you'll see all of this and go, okay, so we are literally...
Do you know how factory workers and laborers and shit, when they labor their jobs, these labor jobs, you know how they do that? They go home and they fucking eat like a ton of bricks. Their wife provides for them a huge meal. That's how they do it. That's how they recover from it.
Really doing 12 sets for chest and back every week, not counting.
I gotta tell you, man, I once spent time with my mom, I don't remember, a while back. I hung out with her for a while and she was cooking for me. We were hanging out and she was cooking a lot for me. And I was like, man, I put on so much weight. The food that she was cooking, I put on a shitload of weight because she kept cooking, she kept feeding me because she was cooking. Most men, they don't really cook a lot. They cook, they don't cook. But now I'm very particular in my diet. It's mostly just a carnivore seafood diet.
Not counting deadlifts, not counting the maxes, any of that. So people have to remember that's not counting any of the split.
Even my woman, when she cooked for me, I would put on weight. Definitely.
Over. A lot of these exercises will have some carryover. And those are really only getting that. Everything else is getting a lot of volume. So we start looking at direct work. If you notice here, supersets here, we did upright rows and we're doing skull crushers. Then for our next superset, we'll do lateral raises and then dumbbell curls. So again, delts are getting 12 direct sets. So that's what I mean by really high volume. Delts are pretty much the biggest muscle in the upper body. Yes, there's good data on that. They're getting a lot of work with pushing and pulling, but I am really hammering her delts with all the direct work. Okay? Hammering them with the direct work because we're doing all these upright rows and laterals, 3 sets of each, both upper body workouts. Keeping in mind that's in addition to all the benching, incline rows, pull-ups. And then we do 6 total sets of direct arm work every week in addition to all that, keeping in mind.
Again, these exercises, they're great for force production, throwing the weight up in the air. That's great. You're going up against gravity. This is all great, going against gravity. See how much I could push against gravity. This is great. Your body will reward you with more of these androgen receptors to push that force against gravity. See what I mean? Man, people don't even understand that. Here's a question for you. If you walk with a heavy weight on your back with 2 buckets of water weighing like a ton each, and you just walk from here to God knows where, kingdom come, for hours, your body will do what? What will happen to the cells in the body? They'll get disrupted. There'll be a disruption. It'll be very difficult in the beginning for you to lift that heavy weight, right? So what will the body do? Well, there's a disruption in the cells. It's going to make those cells bigger. So it will force to allocate the resources, the small resources that you're eating in your body. It will be forced to do that. But how is it forced to do that? Well, not by swinging these dumbbells up and down in the air for 5 seconds. I'm talking about walking for like a couple of miles with a heavy weight on your back. That's how it's forced. You're forcing it. That's totally different. See what I mean? 2, people, the forced production is being forced because you're trying to move weights against gravity, like bench press, OHP, things like that, deadlift, whatever. I don't know, squat. So you're moving up against gravity. See what I mean? Of course your body's got to give you these androgen receptors for that forced production against gravity. That is a different adaptation. You understand me, man? This is funny.
All these other exercises are working arms to some extent.
I'm here to sell you something.
So, again, note what we're doing here. So then we finish up for our last superset with curls and the lateral raises. The curls, I want.
Now she's gone to do curls after she just did her biceps. So the blood, all the blood that she had rush into her shoulders are now going to have to take forever to rush down to her biceps. But they're not there. They're not in her biceps. They're in her shoulders. You understand what I'm trying to explain to you? Man, she's lifting, she's doing her, you got to finish your sets with one group that you finish with, whatever, 5 times 10, and then move on to the next group because the blood is there. There's no blood in her biceps. There's nothing going on there. I think people don't even understand that. And usually the first muscle you start with in the gym, that's the one that's going to get the most stuff out of it because the blood is carrying some nutrients, whatever, it's going to rush in there. That one's going to get the most benefits. But again, I would say you should stick to one group at a time. Finish with that.
Her to be very, very strict. We've worked on that. I want her to do full ranges of motion. Right? And something I might note here, I would like her to lock the elbows a little more at the bottom. We're not quite getting full extension down there, but that's okay. She hasn't done a lot of really bicep work in the past, so bicep training directly is kind of new to her because she's just recently decided,
Bicep training is new to her? She's been doing this all the time in your videos. What are you talking about? What new? What is this new? Whatever.
Just over a couple months ago, hey, I want to do bikini and physique stuff too. Modeling is going good for her. Yes, obviously that comes up to.
Yes, I could see her in all the modeling magazines now with those wild tattoos. Is she in the tattoo magazine? The modeling tattoo magazine? What is she modeling exactly? Underwear?
I've had a few people, how is she modeling with all the tattoos? She does all modeling. She's actually done a magazine cover. It's all up on her social media stuff.
Maybe it's for the tattoo community. I don't know. I don't know, man.
So she actually had a magazine cover last year. She's done dozens and dozens of shoots.
I wouldn't doubt it, but I don't know what type of modeling she does.
Well, again, she's doing the alt modeling. And so hopefully that makes more sense to people when that gets brought up. Again, that's a very, very big growing thing. It's a growing trend. It's a growing area. And it's actually become quite big. So.
I mean, what is it? OnlyFans, very popular section. These women with these tattoos. And you notice in pornos now, it's all porno. These women, they're filled with tattoos, getting it. Sex videos, very popular. All this tattoo stuff, yeah.
That answers that question, by the way, that has come up in here. I've had someone ask that. And I'm like, you guys have never heard of like alt modeling? It's like, all right. Okay then. All right. Wow. Sorry, let me continue with the training. So what we're doing now, we're changing stuff up.
You see that girl over there jumping up and down? That is an eccentric exercise. That's a very good eccentric exercise. She's not going far enough down, but she's doing a pretty good job. People that don't have access to, say, squats or weights or anything, want to do body weight for their legs, I recommend they do that. That jumping up and down is very good for you. Oh yeah, it's amazing.
A little bit. I'm taking her over to doing some volume squatting. So now we're
I think Michelle should do those, but she never does them in her videos.
doing pause squatting. So we do our top single on this with a back squat, and then we do it on deadlift for her second leg day each week. Then I'm having her come in, and we're doing about 3 sets of 10 with 1 to 0 reps in reserve on pause squats. And why the pause? I need those quads and glutes growing. She's actually seen glute gain.
He needs those quads and glutes growing? They're never growing. He's just talking a lot. It's a lot of talk. There's no growth here. Guys, have you seen any growth here since Michelle started, since this so-called Michelle client started on this channel, on his channel?
We've actually been really happy with that. No offense intended to my client, but we started without.
Man, I changed so fast in just 3 weeks compared to your client Michelle. Man, I rapidly changed, and all I was doing was a lot of cable work, and I changed rapidly. I mean rapid. I got some growth, and my body structure is changing very fast in 3 weeks compared to her like 3 years on this channel. She still hasn't changed.
Much glute going on, so they've come up considerably. So she's been happy with that. It's definitely been good for the modeling end, but we need to continue to work on them. So the quads and the glutes have to come up. Hamstrings have been doing quite good. We know where her strengths are there. Calves have to come up. So calves are getting a big priority also. So really we want everything growing, but we are putting a big priority on the calves, a big priority on the delts. And I'm pushing a little bit harder of glute and quad work back in there because, again, we got to get bikini competition ready. So our super
Bikini competition ready? Okay.
sets after this, we do some trisets. So for the trisets, we do leg presses, then glute ham raise, and then she comes back and does then glute ham raise, and then she comes.
Man, that's such a lazy kind of exercise. Nothing going on there. I don't even know why she bothers doing this swinging back and forth. Do that at home, man. Go ride a swing or something in the park.
Goes back and does toe presses for her calves for the gastrocnemius of the calf on the leg press. She just uses the same weight she does for the leg press. It makes stuff a lot easier. She can just have it set up and just go back and forth with her superset. So again, we're using these, and this is actually a great use of the leg press. Again, this is one of these reasons I'm going I really like these.
Again, she's pressing up instead of going down. She just keeps pressing up. Look at her.
45-degree leg press slides. I wish that I had one in my gym at this point.
You have to bend your toes all the way back. It's got to be a full stretch and then partial way up. It doesn't have to be all the way up. Notice how she's all the way up? Should only be halfway up and mostly down at the bottom. Down at the bottom, halfway up. Down at the bottom. Focus on the stretch.
Problem is the space, the cost, everything else. So it's something I'll probably eventually do one day. But yeah, I love those 45-degree slides, and that goes to show we can do a lot with the legs on them, but they're even a good calf tool. It's one of those machines that I've liked even way when I was younger. Some of my strongest squatters, we've done a lot of leg pressing. By strong squatters, I mean like my 175-pound guy squatting over 500. My guy.
She's doing these, but her butt still looks flat.
The 220 who ended up squatting 7.
Again, she's adapted. I think cables would work a lot better for her, and she should do 5 sets of like at least 20 reps, maybe 30. I would recommend her do this on a cable machine, or she could do what she's doing now, but I recommend that she do a 5 times 30 or a 5 times 40 repetition rep set scheme here. Yeah.
100 in a meet. I had him do 615 on camera for you guys, and it looked like a warm-up.
Actually, I recommend 40 repetitions. If she could do it, I think she could do it. 40 reps with that weight, it's nothing. So I'd say 40 repetitions, 5 sets of 40 repetitions. She could do it.
He needed to exit out of coaching though, and then he did the meets as soon as he got out and just hit big numbers. So I mean, we got him pretty much ready.
To tell you the truth, I think she should hit the highest number that she can on the first set, which would probably be 60. She could eke out 60 reps on the first set, and then probably the repetitions might start to diminish. I'd say maybe after that she could do 40, work her way from 40, maybe 50 to 40, then to 30, and maybe the last one 20 repetitions. So yeah, same weight. I'm not talking about moving down in weight. And I'm not saying she had to move up in weight. I'm saying that what she has to do is start with the biggest rep scheme, which is 60, and work her way down in the rep range. That's about it. Not in weight.
So, leg press was a big deal for him, though. Then afterwards, for our next set of lifts, we do, as you guys can see, good mornings, right? So we do good mornings. Again, glute and hamstring, erector.
Again, more lazy lifting.
We superset that with seated calf raises, and then I threw
Superset that with calf raises. Superset. We're gonna superset. This is all bullshit training, supersetting, and all that. It's all garbage. Fake steroid training people mention that. That's the only people that talk about that. People on steroids that don't know how to train. They've never trained in their entire life.
her deadlift for the week just at the end, just because, you know, she's good at deadlifts.
Again, I don't like these seated things. I like standing doing this, but whatever. She wants to do this. Oh, she just did it on the, what do you call it, the leg press, and now it's, oh, I have to do it sitting down on this, like this machine. It has magic powers. See, even though I did it on the leg press machine, my calves, now that I do it on this, it has magic powers. It's gonna make them grow magically. Anyways, man, look, no, it's not. Look, I'll recommend her, even if she's doing these, I don't like these sitting down. Your first set should be 60 repetitions, Michelle. And after that, work your way to 50, 40, to 30, and your last one, 20, and then quit. That's it. But start with the same weight and finish with the same weight. Do not go down in weight. You understand me? Do not go down in weight. Go down in repetitions. Start high and go down in repetitions. Don't do what other people do. They do this. They do 10 rep sets, 5 of 10, but then they reduce the weight and they go down instead in weight. And that's wrong.
We hit some great deadlift numbers over the last couple of years, and I just hate to not put a deadlift in the vlog. You know, if I have any footage of one, I kind of want to put it in there, right? Because she's built a deadlift. And she's still pulling good numbers in spite.
She's built to deadlift? Well, then all humans are built to deadlift. What are you talking about?
Of being down well over 20 pounds at this point. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope
Thank God.
it's been informative, and I will
It was very uninformative. It was bullshit. A lot of bullshit stuff.
talk to you guys and gals next time.
Here we go. 1 rep. Woof. Yay! 1 rep. Woo, Michelle. Ha 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 ha. You got some hypertrophy there. Muscle hypertrophy. 1 rep. 1 rep. I'll see you in the next one, man. Tell what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. Yeah, Team Blaha, client Michelle, 0 I give her a 0. Adaptations for the day. See you in the next one. Just a typical gym lifting slave. See you in the next one. Ciao, friends. Oh, and like, subscribe, support the channel. Helps with the algorithm. I'll see you in the next one, man. Yeah, this was hilarious.